Welcome to Richardson's Rubicon podcast. My name is John Richardson, and shortly we're going to be showing you the interview with Momoko Uno, author of Hello Humans. First, though, if you want to be on the show, you're very welcome to be on it. If you're a writer or an author, we talk about world building, and one of the main things about world building, it's fascinating from a fantasy and sci-fi and horror and near future dystopian type scenario. We want people on who would really want to talk about that, the challenges you've had, the successes you've had, things you would like to change, perhaps, things you wouldn't like to change, that sort of thing. Please feel free to come on the show. It's richardsonsrubicon.com. And this next episode, when you listen to the interview, you'll think, well, there's not much about world building here. Well, that is actually quite true. Basically, we spoke a lot instead about three different elements of structuring a story in a book. And if you listen carefully, you hear all three of them. One would be the chapter structure. The second would be the makeup of the aliens. And the third would be the actual comedy pacing itself. Being a short book, the jokes have got to land. So to find out more, just carry on listening. And if you're an author or a writer, feel free to drop by and apply to be on the show. All right. Cheers. Bye. And that was my grand entrance. Brilliant. So tonight I'm talking with Momoko Uno about her sci-fi comedy, Hello Humans, which is basically a cosmic intervention for planet Earth. An intergalactic committee is debating whether humans should be invited into the wider galactic community, while various species keep dropping into our mess, trying to assess whether we're ready and quietly suspecting that we're absolutely not. So, over to you, Momoko. What made you think about the premise for this book, this sci-fi comedy?
Well, I just wanted to say I love that intro. That was very, very impressive that you had. So how did I come up with this? So many years ago when I was in high school, I lived in Australia. And I actually saw this, what I believe to be a UFO outside my living room. Now, we had these blinking lights and stuff, and I told my mother, who thought I was insane. And she said to me, no, that's not a UFO because they don't exist. It was probably a fly that caught on fire on the barbecue and was spinning out of control, and that's what you saw.
Right. Okay.
All right. Well, this is a great idea. I'm gonna take this to another level. So I've had this story in my mind about the speculative fiction about UFOs since I was in high school.
Yeah.
And so it started from my interest in UFOs started in high school from then.
Wow. Right. So that's where it all came from.
Yeah.
So tell me more about the plot of this book. I mean, it's fascinating, the fact, a lot of people have had the whole aliens come to visit us, and, they find us a little bit wanting, perhaps. One of the books I read, which is a bit hard sci-fi-ish, was, I can't remember the name of it now. Oh, by Julian May, The Many-Coloured World and stuff like that, and the Galactic Milieu and all that sort of stuff. But yours is quite a short book, and it's a comedy, which, is a bit like a breath of fresh air, really. So can you tell us a little bit more about it and the races involved?
Yes. So the first race that we were introduced to are the cat people from the Feline Federation. And I was inspired to write about cats because I have a socially unacceptable amount of cats. I just think cats are really amazing. And then I also read about, I think it was in the 80s when they started to, in the jail systems in the USA, they actually brought cats in to help rehab inmates.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. So that's where I got the idea from, that these cats, these intergalactic cats, came onto the planet to help rehab sociopaths.
Right.
So that's where that came from. Yeah.
Yeah. There's quite a lot of them, apparently, isn't there?
In America, we have quite a lot of sociopaths. Some in jail, some not. And there are a few that I know that I think should be in jail, but so anyway, so that's how I got that story about the cats from personal experience, and so these cats in the story do this biscuit therapy, where biscuits is when they do the kneading.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so I had these neurotransmitter transmitting like electrodes in the cats that change the neurotransmitter activities in the humans, and how they heal humanity one at a time, but it's very, very slow and there's not that many cats.
Right, yeah. I'm starting to worry a bit about myself now, because we used to have 4 cats, right? And they used to do the biscuit making on me a lot of the time. So does that mean I'm a sociopath, do you think?
No. It's if you're not a sociopath, then you just become more kind and loving. For the sociopaths, because it releases oxytocin and stuff like that. That if you're exposed to cats, that apparently it's supposed to help with
and you've got a medical background as well, haven't you?
A medical background. What do you mean by that?
You've got a medical background.
Medical. Sorry. I thought you said magical. I misunderstood. Magical. No, the wands. No. Yes, I do have a medical background, and yes, and that is a big part of the story too. I go into medicine and science into the book as well, and neurotransmitter, and this and more the second book, because this is a trilogy. I do actually go into.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, quite a lot more, and also to do with how pollution in particular affects the human body and the mind as well.
Right.
Yeah, plastics and pesticides and all of that. That's all part of the story. So even though it's very, very silly, there is I won't call it hard science, but there's some medicine.
There's a serious undercurrent to it, basically.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. My first training in writing was in comedy, and I can't seem to get away from that.
I just did an interview with another author, actually. A chap called Richard Sparks, and he's a comedy writer. That's what he literally did, and he's been doing it for God knows how many years now. He'd probably kill me if I said 40 years, but that's kind of accurate. Right. So, and I just love the comedic style in writing, because yes, it's great to read a little bit of fantasy or a bit of sci-fi, and it's great to go through the stories and get excited by them, and have the thrill of the stories. But oh my God, isn't it so good just to have a belly laugh?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
And I often talk about this, that laughter is medicine. I really do believe that laughing or just even giggling or smiling, it shows that it changes our brain chemistry too. It's one of the best things that we can all do every single day is laugh.
Good.
At ourselves and something.
Yeah, of course. So that's one of the races. That's the feline race. So what did they? I don't want to give too much away about the book, but you can probably spare as much detail as you think is safe.
Yes.
Right. So what they're doing this whole thing for the neurotransmitters to improve humans one at a time. What's the next race doing? What do they do?
So I can't actually remember. This is so terrible, but it's my book and I can't remember how many stories are in this story. It's terrible, isn't it? But so if I remember correctly,
pick one.
What I believe is the grey aliens, which are actually, that everybody I think has heard of, the grey aliens. So in my book, they're actually a positive species that have higher consciousness and they communicate telepathically. So I got that from Area 51 and all of that stuff from where where they apparently crashed, and to do with the nuclear power plants, et cetera, et cetera. So that's part of that's another species, but they're apparently in my story from a different dimension, and I haven't quite figured out how that even works, but I just kind of threw that in there. That they're dimensional beings that are of higher consciousness, but because they're at a different level of consciousness, I think that they have a hard time understanding humanity in general, because we're kind of crawling around in the mud. And I think when you're of somebody of a higher consciousness, I think there's a bit of a disconnect, and they have a hard time understanding what we're doing.
Yeah. So they wouldn't quite understand some of the concepts that drive us because they're so advanced.
Absolutely. And so some of the comedic elements is they're trying to connect with human beings, but in a way that's just absolutely ridiculous. And, it falls through. So all the characters are, in my story are very flawed. Like everybody has a really hard time talking to each other, and most of the species do want this positive outcome of humanity joining this intergalactic committee, but because of their own personal bias or their own opinions, they all have a hard time kind of getting on the same page.
Right. And thereby lies the conflict.
Yes. And there's also the baddies too.
Baddies.
Yes, there's the bad, evil factions that want to take over the planet, and the greedy people. They're not the people, but they're greedy aliens that want to take over. And they're power hungry, and they want to rule the world. So there's that too. There's that that's species. So there's lots of it's a space opera. So there's a little bit of it's like a salad of different alien species.
I like that, a salad of aliens. Alien salad.
Yes.
There we go. So what was you obviously spent some time writing this. How long did it take? Roughly?
Oh, that's a good question. I actually started writing the book in a class. So that class I took a few years ago, and the class ran like a few months. So I think I got most of the book written in that one class, and then it went through a lot of revisions before I published.
Of course.
Yeah, so I would say from start to end, maybe about 18 months.
Wow, that's actually quite good, isn't it?
It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah. It's brilliant. I don't know. It's not just okay. It's excellent. Right. So what were the main challenges then with these races and their interactions? Were there any bits where directions you were going in and then found that you couldn't? Or was there any sort of unintentional writer's conflict going on with some of the characters?
There was always conflict, which I think conflict is a good thing to have. I think in stories in general, it's just a matter of trying to figure out how to get myself out of a pickle. I think part of the fun is, I once read that you want to make something so conflicted that you as the writer don't know how to get out of it. So I try to kind of get into that space and then wiggle my way out of what seems absolutely impossible. And to be honest, I'm writing the third book, the final book in the trilogy, and I'm still not quite sure how I'm going to get myself out.
Really? Oh my God.
Yeah. So there we have it, the truth.
Okay. So tell me then, right? So one of your feline characters is Princess Cupcake, isn't it?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
If she had to sum up humanity in 10 seconds, right? Mm-hmm. What would she say?
Oh, dear Lord.
Is that it?
What a mess. I just cleaned it up for you and you made another mess. I think that's what you would say.
So, what sort of structure do the stories have? So basically, is it one race first, then another race next, then another race, or is it?
Yes, it's interconnected. The first book is an interconnected group of stories. So every single chapter. So believe there's 12 chapters in the first book, and each chapter is devoted to a different species.
Right.
The last chapter is about the Intergalactic Committee at the United Galaxies, which is kind of like a takeoff the United Nations.
Yeah.
And so there's that where you see all of them working together. But at the when you're probably reading it at the beginning, it just seems like the stories aren't connected at all. And then as you read along, you'll start seeing that the species are actually connected and they're all part of this intergalactic committee.
Right. Okay. So when you were doing that, what made you choose that sort of structure instead of them all arriving all at once type of thing? Why was it all separate?
Why was it all separate? And I didn't start with the Intergalactic Committee, and I started off separately.
Yeah.
Correct. I think that was because I liked the idea of having stories that didn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense, and then if you muscled through it at the end, it's like, oh, I see, and you see it all pulled together. So there were some people that have read it, and they said they didn't finish it. And I got feedback saying that it wasn't working for them because they couldn't see how they were connected. And I wanted to tell them, if you just muscle through it just a little bit more, you'd get that payoff at the end.
Yeah.
They didn't trust me enough to finish the pointing. Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
No, never. It's up, it's not. The thing about writing is that I've learned that, it's not. Nobody's writing style is for everyone.
No, this is true. And even the best authors can be most difficult to read. In fact, some of them are absolutely appalling. And it makes you wonder how they got to be the best authors.
I go back and forth between reading bestsellers and all sorts of different things. And there's some books I'm like, wow, how on earth do they have over 1 million reviews on Goodreads at a pretty good rating too? And I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't get through this. Is there something wrong with me?
Yeah, you do ask that question, don't you? Yeah. You sort of think, oh my God, there must be something wrong with the way I judge things because, everyone else thinks this is great. And I think it's blooming awful.
I don't agree with the character arc or the way that it's written, or there's too much exposition or something, or sometimes it's just boring. I find it riveting.
Yeah. So, a quick question about alien creation then, right? So obviously you've generated these aliens yourself. You hinted at the Greys because they're kind of like a common alien type thing, right? And you liked the cats because, well, you like cats, so you thought you'd make some of them alien. And you mentioned about the neurotransmitters on the old paws for the cats. Is there any other sort of, when you build aliens, is there a process you go through that explores what they can and can't do, or do you kind of wing it? This is what I'm asking.
I try. I think I have at maybe 10 different alien species, and
right, that's a lot.
It's kind of a lot. No, I get it. Anyway, so I tried to give them all very unique qualities so that they wouldn't overlap so much. So each species had something. They looked different, and they also had different qualities, like good, positive, and negative. So I tried to write down, I wrote the species and the positive traits and the negative traits and what they looked like and how they were different from each other, so that readers wouldn't get confused, and I also wouldn't get confused too about who I was writing about.
Right. Okay. Did that work?
I think so. It worked for me. I hope it worked for the people that read the stories.
Yeah.
Well, so I mixed some myth as well. So I went into I went into the mermaids as well. So I have these octopus hybrid people that are guardians of the oceans. So so there's that species as well, and they have a very completely different set of skills and also goals as well to do with the planet. So
that's interesting. Yeah, no, that's really interesting actually. So because obviously octopus are octopi.
Yes.
Are actually thought to be really intelligent.
Yes. So I have this. I think octopus are octopi are very interesting, and I just think that they're highly intelligent, and they kind of look very strange. And
yeah, they do look alien, don't they?
And so I borrowed that idea from
Yeah, from them.
from them. And also there's, I forgot now, they're in some, I can't remember if it's Greek mythology or there's another mythology where they have like a half octopus god. And so I also stole it, borrowed that idea from another mythology. And I'm blanking on where it's from.
Yes, and it's on the tip of my tongue, and I'm sure I'll figure it out before the end. I hope anyway, because I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So is it the sorry? It might not be mythology. Is it H.P. Lovecraft who did a lot of ocean tentacle octopi fish-based characters?
There was
horror.
There was definitely horror stories, and then there was also actually straight up mythology that dates back from like thousands of years as well. So
right. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Brilliant. Wow, that sounds quite extensive. So how big is this first book then? How many pages does it have?
I think it's 184 pages. So it's very, very fast paced.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, it's a very short, quick book, and I did a little bit of research on this in terms of like sci-fi comedy, and in general, I think a lot of them, the shorter ones, seem like they do better. At least the first book, when it's short and snappy and fast paced, it seems like it does a little bit.
It works.
It works a lot. Like for example, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That was under around the same length. And I think Murderbot, it's even shorter than that. I think it's, I forgot, 160 pages or something like that. So with the little bit of research that I did, I thought, let me start with something really short.
Oh, excellent. They do say that, though, don't they? That comedy is short, sharp shocks, if you like. Exactly. And that makes it work. And then when you get these say, for instance, you get a long comedy film, and it's at the cinema and you're sitting there and you laughed for the first half an hour and then you've ran out of popcorn and you've still got this comedy shown on the screen and it's just not funny anymore, is it?
Yeah, you want to make sure that the jokes land and you move on to the next one. And if you run out of jokes, that's when the story should end. And not drag out comedy. That's my personal opinion.
No, I completely agree with that. So do you have like a test user base that you test your jokes out on?
I do.
You do?
I have a whole group of beta readers that I share my stories with, and I see how if my jokes are working or not.
That doesn't sound very happy.
Yes, and sometimes they land well, and other people are like, what are you talking about? So it's interesting, some people really resonate with my sense of humor and other people don't at all. I had somebody read it recently and they didn't get it. They shouldn't be reading sci-fi comedy. I think they were expecting like hardcore science fiction. And they just didn't get it at all.
Well, you've trashed their beliefs. That's what you've done. You've sullied the altar of hard sci-fi by putting in comedy.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not hard. It's pretty flimsy on the hard medicine, but there is some stuff in there. But I think they were looking for serious. You know what I mean? Rather than silly.
I do. Yeah, I do. Right. Okay. So how did you deal with that criticism?
Then? I deal with criticism very well because I've been receiving it in abundance since childhood and well-versed in it. And I think, the opinion and just move right along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? You don't spend too much time on negativity, do you? That's the thing.
No, I think it's good to be able to take the criticism and sometimes there are some really good points that people make.
Yeah, of course.
And when it's constructive criticism, I really appreciate that, because then I can be a better writer. I can make my story better. And then there are just some stuff where it really doesn't, it is not helpful at all. It's like you meet somebody, they're like, I don't like the way you smell. I just took a shower. I'm like, I'm sorry to offend you.
Oh my God. Yeah. That is so true. You just can't please some people.
No, absolutely. And I'm pretty used to that, actually, that, I realize that I'm a unique human being, and some people
That's brilliant. So the first, sorry, now you must correct me, Momoko. Is it the first book just coming out now? Is it out now?
It's out already. Yes.
Okay. So they can probably get your book at your website then, which is momokowrites.com.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
So tell me a little bit then about your plans for the second book, and if you can, the third book. So I guess you've already started with the arc.
I have.
Yeah.
The second one is pretty much, it's being edited right now, and then the third one I'm halfway through, and as I said, I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to tie it all together yet. I have a good idea of where I'm going, but it's partly the book is mystery as well. I like to genre blend. So we've got we've got comedy, we've got some mystery too. So the big mystery and the big reveal at the end is the reptilians as another alien
race. Yeah.
So they have an agenda with Earth and with humans, and they're mostly responsible for abducting people in the story. I'm not talking about reality. And
no, we've got people who do that in real life, haven't we? Really?
Yeah. So the third book will reveal why they're abducting people.
Right.
That I figured out, but the rest of the stuff I don't know what I'm going to write yet.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes. When the world is feeling like it's going to collapse, I'm in my little brain thinking about what are the reptilians going to do to human beings? It's a fun place to be.
God, that's quite dark.
Well, I mean, if you were here and you saw the insanity that we're going through in this country,
I can see it.
Yes, it's actually quite a fun place in my brain right now. Yeah.
Well, let's put it this way: there's plenty of material to work from, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely, and that's the other thing that I like to do, is to try to take different things from what's going on in our world, in politics. I also take some, so in the US, a lot of people have problems with insurance companies. So there's a big insurance theme as well in the story too, where people get involved. The aliens are involved with insurance companies.
Right.
Yeah, it's totally silly stuff, but how I pass my day.
If it's fun, that's the main thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so there we go. That's always a net positive, as they say, or a net benefit.
So I'm entertaining myself more than anybody else, I think.
Well, you're certainly making the effort to try and entertain everyone else. So don't put yourself down. There we go. So have you got anything more that you can tell me, Momoko, about any of these stories? Any problems that you had whilst you were writing? Any funny anecdotes? Any sort of issues that came up? Some sort of help with your publisher? Did that work out okay? I'm making it very broad here so that you can just blurt out what it is that you want to blurt out.
I think some of the problem solving, I think personally one of the best things with writing is getting a writing group together and talking it out with your writer friends and getting feedback, their emotional gut reactions from the stories, because storytelling, a lot of it is really emotional, and then does it make sense or not? Even if it's the most insane thing that you're writing, the insanity has to have some kind of an arc, if that makes sense.
It does.
And so getting that feedback from friends that know you quite well and not afraid to tell you, no, that's dumb. That doesn't work. That's not what is not landing right for me. I mean, that is priceless to have a group of people that you trust.
Yeah. So you definitely recommend that for any budding writers out there.
Absolutely. Get a group of people who are around the same level that you are, and you can all learn together.
How did you find your group?
From a Gotham Writers Workshop. So I've been taking classes there for about 10 years. They're in New York City locally. And so I've met a lot of great people over the years, different mentors and teachers, and then friends, other students.
Yeah, brilliant. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
Right. So have you got anything else to add at all, Momoko?
Don't give up. Even if you get feedback, keep going.
Keep going. It's worth it in the end, isn't it?
Yeah. And even if you fail, it's still worth trying.
Well, you've done something at that point.
Absolutely.
And you've been on that journey and you've learned something.
Yes, so absolutely. Yes. It's not to focus on the end, but the process.
The journey.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, Momoko Uno, thank you very much for your time on the podcast. Everybody, if you go to momokowrites.com, you'll be able to find all about Momoko, actually. And she's a many-faceted character herself. I think she's occupying about 10 species herself with the amount of work that she does. But go look at the website and buy that book. What do you think? I think that's brilliant.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.